Thanks, Chad AI, for showing me a video when somebody puts me in the title, or like if I'm part of the video, I would be interested in watching that. Like for sure, if you wanted to get my attention. But yeah, and I appreciate that. I responded to some of them and started like maybe some back and forth, and I I'm attracting those people, those Christ is King people. And maybe they're tripping because I have a handle that says Dr. Nyrothotep. But then they want to direct me to videos that say things that are in scripture, and they'll point to it like, you need to see this, you need to see this, you need to see this, you need to see this. And I get it. There's milk and there's meat. You know what I mean? Because at some point, when I say you're saying like we need to deliver you from evil. I do not want to be delivered from my predecessors who already delivered me. You know what I mean? And your children are your genetics hurling into the future, and to behold is awesome. So to be delivered from evil doesn't make any sense. I would want to be delivered from deception, sinister motivation, whatever. If there's such thing as choice, if it's not an illusion, delivered from pettiness, like superficiality, like God, all those things you can name. You see what I mean? But you're treating it like a one-off. This is not a one-off thing. Kings are created. Kings are creatures. So Christ is not king because Christ is God. And they're trying to direct, like they're pushing back against this idea with the Christ is king. I noticed that you guys want to lecture, like it's almost like you think that you're supposed to lead people from evil. That got in your head, I understand. But you're making a misnomer. Evil has no ontology. So like, of course, like the accuser, you know what I mean? Like Satan is a word for the accuser is a word. Satan is a word. At some point in time, we brought those together. Before that, Satan is freaking ashes. It's carbon. It's like that's why they say like this Kundalini stuff will lead to like New Age, and it's like another way for Satan. Why is it another way? Because a Kundalini burns up from its carbon and burns up, it turns into ash. So you can say that all those other gods had Satan's name in it, like Tyre, Clef, Soot, like where you get Satan, Soot Typhoon, Set Typhon, like all these little changes and everything of those are, what do you want to call that? A lexicon. You can't guide yourself through on etymology. It's not consistent. It does help in sometimes, but there's places where inexplicably etymology is, and you don't know how it got there. Like, so as far as when they say the information, like if you want to check my information and see if it's like, I'm not giving no information. I'm strictly a stickler for definition. Like I'm strictly going to defer back to the meaning of words and the truest sense of the meaning of words. And I'm not the transliteration of scripture. That's Ishwa, the Mashiach. And I'm also gonna say one more just thing is that I'm not playing the name games. So if someone wants to say Jesus, that's fine, that's a dandy. If someone want to say Yeshua, I'm not gonna, unless somebody want to specifically, exclusively go in on their reason for thinking the pronunciation is more like this and that, you know, because some things that take place afterwards doesn't really, like, as a timeline, and things just doesn't really don't follow on the timeline. So it's like, okay, people are making use of it's like hybridized, and we just take it for granted that the basis or the meaning is consistent, but we could be like lazy and treated to becoming lazy, and anything goes. Like, you can just be generalistic, like it wouldn't be your fault. So that's why I do this, because it wouldn't be your fault if you use overgeneralistic terminology and some of your message is gets diluted. I still know where you're coming from, but I still know that you have a little bit of something to be desired as far as what you want to accomplish by coming across with words. Does that sound like the information? If you want to test it and see if it's accurate and stuff, like this stuff I'm talking about is not the information. If I would make a video about historicity, you know, or empiricism or peer-reviewed studies and sense data and stuff like that. But how is this the information?